Alleged UFO whistleblower Jason Sands is back. Now, if you don't know who he is, let me remind you. He is an upcoming featured player in the upcoming James Fox documentary entitled The Program, which comes out later this year. Now, Jason Sands famously came out in a Twitter space, and I've made quite a few videos on that. So check the links in the description. You'll find those videos if you want to find out more about that. So, but now he's coming out in more spaces talking about more experiences that he had. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 new experiences that Jason Sands has revealed in Twitter spaces. All right. I've just compiled it down, made it easy. Right. And I went into one of these spaces one time in one of the videos I made previously that I covered it. It was a couple months ago, I think. And I asked Jason Sands, what evidence is there available for your experience? Because at this time, I only knew the initial experience. You know, the gist of it is basically he, in the 90s, had an experience where he came upon a blue-skinned alien and telepathically communicated and, you know, this, that, the other. There's more to it. Regardless, I asked him about that one experience. Hey, you know, is there any evidence that's going to come out? And he was very kind. He answered, he said, not really, unless the other guys that were with him would come out, right? But I didn't know all these other experiences that Jason Sands had, which is now starting to come out. And it's quite a bit. And I'm only covering 3 new ones because there's more. So I just find it interesting, and I thought it'd be interesting to share because he is going to be quite a featured player in James Fox's new documentary, okay? So that's interesting, right? As well as he just had dinner with Luis Elizondo, okay? Lou's got his new book coming out. They spoke about that. There was some, you know, controversy about whatever, some other stuff. Basically, he had dinner with Luis Elizondo, and, you know, they spoke about the book, and they must be speaking about other things. And when I had Danny Sheehan on, and I asked him, hey, what's the update on Jason Sands? He couldn't say anything anymore when previously he had said he denied wanting to cover him. I made a video about that too, right? So there's a lot there with Jason Sands, right? But he's not doing on-camera interviews. He's doing a lot of these Twitter spaces until the program comes out, right? The James Fox documentary. So anyway, let's dive in. Enough of me rambling. Let's just get to these clips, all right? If you're new to the channel, you like content like this, please hit that subscribe button, y'all. We're trying to get to 30,000. Let's do it. I do not miss a day, y'all. I put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, of course, hit that like button, vetters. That really helps out the video. So thank y'all so much for the support there. And, of course, comment down below. What do you think about these 3 experiences? Have you had something similar? That'd be interesting to know. All right, let's dive in. All right, first clip. I'm just going to play it and let you take it in. All 3. All right, 3 different experiences. You know what? I'll give you what my notes say. Anubis, 10-year-old sighting, London orbs. There you go. Those are the 3 different events. Let's go.
It's pretty good listening. If I can get Chad in here.
Wait.
It's Chad after all.
That's not it. Hang on. Right
there. And that's kind of how we roll a lot of times. So, yeah, I've seen people get flagged and investigated because they kept on poking at things that they shouldn't have.
Jace, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the craziest thing you've seen while in those programs?
Holy crap. I don't know if I should even say it, but I've seen a being that I can't explain. It's like a nightmare in my head, just outside of the stuff that you guys are going to be seeing in the film. There is another being that I've encountered, but man, it was just like a bad dream. It was about 30 foot tall, it was so strange. I can't even begin to parse how it all happened. But there's missing time involved and all kinds of stuff. But it looked like a version of Anubis.
Wow, man, look at this panel too. Jesus Christ.
Anubis. So if y'all aren't familiar with what Anubis is, let me show you. Boom. Right here. Okay. This is generally what he's saying he saw. Right. I think everyone's kind of familiar with this iconography, right, of Anubis. So that's interesting, right? That is very interesting, right, that he's had this particular experience. I find that one staggering. 30-foot Anubis type being in front of you. And I'm sure there'll be more details to come out about that. All right, let's get to the next sighting here.
The UFO you saw when you were 10 years old that you just referenced, can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
It was like December of, what would have been, about 72, 73? Yeah, probably 73, because I was about 10 at the time. And I was just going to my room because it was, the adults were all hanging out in the living room kind of a thing, and I was getting bored, so I wanted to go play in my room. Didn't turn my light on just yet, and I saw this red orb come down, like from, it looked like it was just entering the atmosphere about, some miles away, 5 to 10 miles away. And it kept on dropping in altitude, and it was coming straight at me. And I lived on the side of a gentle hillside. I was, kind of midway up this hillside, and there's a bit of a valley at the bottom of my street that's only about 5 houses down from where I lived. And then my friend Eddie's house was at the end of that street. And then across the street, there's a ranch, and the hill begins to rise again. And that's where this light kept coming towards, was the top of this hill where this ranch was. So as it got bigger and bigger and closer, it started coming into the valley and over my friend's house. As it got really close to my friend's house, there was this bright flash of white light, and in its place, after the light kind of, surprised me, and I blinked, there was this, like, what looked like a drop of mercury with this kind of strange little appendage sticking out of it at the front right-hand side of the craft. And it starts to just kind of move across the roof line of my friend Eddie's house. And it's starting to move towards the street. And I'm starting to scream to all the adults in the living room, UFO, UFO. And it's down on it's over by Eddie's house. And nobody was responding. And so I started running out of my room to go get my dad's binoculars out of the hallway closet, because I wanted a closer look at this thing. And so I ran out to the front yard to go do that. And my mom was the only person that came out with me. And as and I both came out onto the front lawn, there's a street light right over the driveway of Eddie's house. And this thing came out like right underneath the street light that's in front of his house. And you could see everything perfectly. It was just like polished chrome, not a rivet to be seen, no seams, no nothing. And then all of a sudden it takes off like a shot, like from 0 to probably 800 miles an hour or quicker. It shoots up into the sky and starts rotating and orbiting this other thing that looked like a star. Then this star that it was rotating around started to do it like a slingshot rotation, and they were both kind of like doing a yo-yo effect. And then the craft that I had seen and my mother had seen stopped suddenly, and this other craft that had been sitting there in the sky and got it just went shooting across the sky so fast, the horizon, I couldn't even keep up with my eyes. I actually only saw it with like my peripheral vision after a while, because it was just that quick. And it didn't go curved like a shooting star or anything else like that. This went like straight across the hilltops that were across the street from my friend Eddie's house and just over the horizon kind of a thing. So it shot perfectly arrow straight, and it just disappeared with an instant. It had to be going thousands and thousands of miles an hour at that point. So
Just
that's
one thing, a follow up just on the forum, just real quick, just so it's clarified more. Was Luizondo and like Grush on that forum, and were most of the whistleblowers on there? Like, as you say, there are like 40 to 80 people. Were they all participating on that forum at some point?
Nope.
Wait. Hey, I just got a text from somebody saying, I'm pretty sure Trump just got shot. Anybody know anything about this?
What?
Yeah.
He goes, what? Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. How crazy was that last 20 seconds there? First of all, that guy just interrupted Jason in his story. I mean, that was so random. Like, he's telling a story. He just completely interrupted with something from 15 minutes before where he asked him about this private sort of chat UFO forum, potentially within the government that, people on the UAP task force are a part of and whatever. It was a fine question, but way out of place there. And then another guy interrupts, hey, just got a text, Trump just got shot, right? That all happened during the assassination attempt of Trump, right? And there you got a real-time reaction of people hearing that for the first time. You got the what? Yeah. So, but what an interesting story that Jason was telling there, right? About his childhood experience. It's pretty detailed. It was probably the most detailed story he's ever told, even more than the other one, his famous blue alien one. So, that was interesting. I'm sure a lot of people are going to relate to that and maybe have a similar story, which would be interesting to hear. If you have, tell me in the comments. All right, let's move to the last story here. But my goodness, what an interesting way, right, for that to go down right there with Trump, all that happening.
Okay. So targeting for me by the NHI, I'd say that, yeah, in a form of the word of they've been around most of my life and my family's lives. And we've had, experiences even from young childhood. So in that sense, I would say there's been some targeting. I've never felt like, any technology was used against me or on me to cause me to get disoriented. I've never really been disoriented. I know when I've felt, the loss of time, I've been able to cognitively know that, oh crap, something just happened. Why is the sun up right now? It should be dark. Yeah, I'm pretty quick to, cognitively figure that out. So those things did happen, at least in one other orb encounter I had when I was stationed in the UK. When I was going to work, and it was dark when the orb showed up. But when I came to, I had obviously had some missing time, about 20 minutes or so, because the sun usually didn't come up at that time of the year until 20 minutes into my drive at least, on my way to work. So that was a big factor, knowing that I was still exactly where the UFO showed up, that it was all of a sudden daylight, and I realized that. So I don't think I've been targeted by technology like the CIA or somebody putting a helmet on me. That has never happened, at least not in my cognitive memory. So was the incident reported over in the desert? We kind of touched on this earlier in this particular space.
So he goes on to talk about the incident in the desert, right, which is the main one that came out first that he blew the whistle on, right? Because there was so much layers to that story. It, talked about a lot of different things, a program and all this stuff, right? There was a lot to it. So anyway, if you want to know more all about that, please go check out the links in the description. You can see some deep dives I did on that earlier, back when Jason came out months ago. Otherwise, this was interesting, right? Got to hear 3 new experiences. Now, Jason also spoke in these spaces that were hours, okay? I dwindled this down for y'all. Hours and hours, okay? He also spoke about potentially getting downloads, right, from these NHI, right, which is like getting information literally downloaded to your brain from these intelligence, right, to instantly know things. Also, something I realized in these spaces, I heard about that incident in the desert, that the being he telepathically communicated with him had given him a star map. I didn't know that. That is something new. So I think that star map is going to be probably featured in the James Fox documentary. I don't know. We'll find out. It should be soon. This is all happening within the next few months. Lou Elizondo's book, and as well as James Fox's documentary, The Program. All right, guys. That's it. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all.